Fantasy sports coaches, welcome to the GameDay Squad YouTube channel. You're either like me and you're celebrating English gang, what a bloody round from the man, he went ballistic, or you could be like me as well and you dunked Cogs and Dunkley in maybe their best games of the season. Let me know down below in the comments whether you are one of the two. I've got the highs and the lows of this round, but welcome to the Aussie Rule show. This is for round 20. I've got my co-host and Kerm here. Kerm, big fella, how you going? Are you ready to talk some footy, brother?
I am, mate. I'm honestly keen to get through this episode and move on to round 21 because, man, I have had a shocker we're about to see. But nonetheless, keen to keep talking footy.
Absolutely. And we're here because of Game Day Squad. Create, coach, and compete. Sign up today to open up your 30 free starter packs and start building your dream squad. Everything you need to know about Game Day Squad is down below. I'm doing these shows a little bit differently. I've got some timestamps down below. So if you are looking for something in particular, whether it's a topic, a player, whatever the good stuff is, go down there. You'll see the timestamps, but just sit tight, relax, and enjoy the ride because we're going to get right into it now with our team reviews. And Kerm, I might start it off this week. The Zeus Cannons, I'm a little bit upset, I'll be honest with you. Ooh. So we'll flick it over here. You can see I finished off the round with 2,458 fantasy points, which in all fairness isn't a horrible round. You know, you don't look at that and think, especially in the classic competition, that I did very, poorly because I didn't. But I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is I made a big call on the live stream. Kerm didn't know. I went to the live stream last Thursday and I said, Flanders, Sheasel are going to get the start over Cogs and Dunkley. And I hinted at what happened in the intro there. Cogs and Dunkley went ballistic. Not that Flanders and Sheasel did bad. They actually had good games, respectively. But I think Cogs had about 158 fantasy points. And Dunkley was quite similar as well. I think that might be their two better performances for the entire year. So, of course, the 1 week I make that big call, I drop them. They go crazy. So that one hurt to see play out. Secondly, though, English gang saved the day for me, mate. A massive 170 bomb this week. Had the silver on him as well. So such a tidy game. I still can't believe that people think there's a conversation for the best ruckman in the AFL. Because it's over, ladies and gentlemen. It is over. If you didn't know already, it's done. The conversation is done.
He's called the conversation over.
Two sausage rolls, mate. Gosh, he was good. But I will say the reason why I think I did so poorly is I would say I had 8 players underperform this week. So considering I got to 2,458, was quite good, but you can see some of the players there. I'll go through like Sarong, Parrish, Doherty, Sicily, Dacos, probably all underperformed for their standards. So yeah, tough week. But we're going to bounce back the Zeus Cannons. I'm pretty optimistic that moving forward, I can make some better coaching decisions.
The Zeus Cannons always bounce back. They always bounce back in a big way. So I'm excited to see what you do coming into the next round.
Yes, mate. But what about yourself, Kerm? Round 20, pointy end of the season. How did the Kermies go this week? Take me through.
Pointy end of the season, and I should be making smart decisions. But, mate, I only scored 400 more points than you with almost a full diamond squad. Only 2,856 points, which was only good for a finish of 36th in the champion division. And I'll tell you one thing, we'll get into the ladder a little bit later on in the show, but at the start of round 20, I started 3rd, and I have now finished 7th in the seasonal ranking going into round 21. So I really need to screw my head on in this back end of the season with 4 rounds to go to hopefully keep that top 10 finish because, man, I've jumped down a long way.
That's rough.
It is rough.
2 bad weeks, or average weeks, let's call it, and that many positions. Wow,
it is rough. So I need to switch on in a big way, and I'm going to start off with removing Angus Brayshaw from my team because he only scored 121 points with a diamond 1.4 multiplier on him. And with 70, I think he had like 71 CBA percentage for Melbourne on the weekend, and he only scored 121 with, as I said, that 1.4 multiplier, which is not what I need. I got the extra midfield time right, but I didn't get the scoring right. He did not come to play yesterday for the Demons. Aside from that, my midfield was okay, aside from Lockie Neal, who got some attention from Touk Miller, and I think that means that Lockie Neal is going to book himself in for at least a little bit of attention from opposition players to end the season. Now that opposition players know that he can be tagged and opposition coaches know he can be tagged, I'd be really surprised to see if he doesn't get any attention at all by the end of the season, because, man, he looked like an absolute ghost for the Brisbane Lions on the weekend.
I will say, credit to Touk Miller. What a bloody game he had. Not only contributing and tagging Lockie Neal, but the way he was able to find the ball whilst tagging as well and contributing. Like, that is, what a fantastic game from the man.
Yeah, Touk was awesome. And to get the win over the Lions, a cute clash, you know, that rarely happens.
Yes.
So we finally got some hardware in the hands of Witsy, so it was a big day. Big day for Suns fans. You can see there my ruck dilemma, I'll call it. I had Platinum Tim English on the bench and started Diamond Max Gawn. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it was after that Western Bulldogs game. I thought, oh God, I've made a big mistake here. Yeah. But Maxi Gawn in that second half with that 1.4 multiplier came back, and it was only 214 points to Tim English's 222. So not as much of a Band-Aid fix as I thought it was going to be, but Max Gawn, that second half was insane, and hopefully Brodie Grundy will stay out of this Melbourne side. My forward line, this is where it went horribly wrong. Tim Taranto did not look anywhere near himself yesterday for Richmond. I know Richmond got the win, but Tim Taranto was just, I don't want to say a shell of himself because he's an insane player, and it's hard to keep up that level of performance consistently, but 131 with a 1.4 multiplier diamond card. You don't see that very often from Tim Taranto. That doesn't mean to drop him or do anything silly like that. But Tim Taranto, hopefully that's just a blip in the radar for him. Luke Jackson, I was really disappointed with this. I thought up against the Geelong matchup, I thought he was going to have a big game, but 123, I thought he was going to crack triple digits by three-quarter time. And he had a pretty good finish. He had the end of the third quarter and fourth quarter, he had a fairly good go at it. He just couldn't find the footy at all in the first half. So I'm going to keep him in there again going into round 21. Hopefully, again, this is just a blip in the radar for Luke Jackson. Because I think with that rock roll, that sole rock roll, he is a really good card to have. But Harry Himmelberg, you know my dilemmas with Harry Himmelberg. Yes. I dropped him last week. He went off. I brought him back in this week. He did absolutely nothing. So I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I don't think I can play him. As I said at the start of my little segment here, dropped down to 7th in the seasonal rankings. I'm not sure I can have someone like Harry Himmelberg in my forward line costing me these weeks. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to break ties no matter how good he does when I do drop him, because Harry Himmelberg, that is just an absolute gut-wrenching, stake through the heart type situation for me there, and it hurt in a big way.
I don't think it's just hurt you. It's hurt a lot of fantasy managers out there, you know. Like, we'll have a look at this. Like, we'll read off some of the games. So we go round 16. We've got 117 points, which is promising. You're like, wow, we're showing great signs. And then you roll. Let's go. Let's roll with him. Then he goes 96, 90. So a bit unders, especially for the forward positions this year when you've got the likes of Rosie, Dunkley, all of those guns getting at least 120 every week. So then you're thinking, all right, I should probably start benching a player like this. Then he goes 132, bang, week after, which is when you've dropped him, right? So you've been burned. You're sitting there. You're like, all right, Harry Himmelberg is back, straight back into the lineup. And then he goes for 77 the week after. So I totally hear you. It's just
insane.
It's just not stringing these good games together.
It's hard. It's hard because we're going off, and the reason why I brought him in the first place was his 2022 data. Like, when he was playing that centre halfback role for GWS last year, he was a top 6 forward. So it was. I just don't know how he's not putting these triple-digit games together, as you say. But those high 90s, I think I'm going to have to dodge those and bring someone like a Platinum Connor Rosie back into the fray. You mentioned Dunkley at the top of the show. He was incredible on the weekend. So, yeah, there's definitely options there. And I think H. Himmelberg is a little bit too risky going into the back end of the year.
Yeah, totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. But do you know what is not risky is the following 20 teams you're about to see. This is going to be our Game Day Squad weekly leaderboard for round 20. So Let's take it away. Classic competition, 2,655 points. You can see there, that's full of 2,600s from 1 to 10. So a cracking round of AFL footy. And these managers just went ballistic. They went crazy themselves. A lot of them must have had the English, Dunkley, Cogs combination with plenty of others mixed in between there. But that is really, really high and such a high standard for the classic competition. So I was stunned when I saw the leaderboard. I thought I was maybe a chance, but pondering the top 10, then I realised I'm no chance at all, mate.
It's hard. The good coaches are really showing their flexing their muscles this time of year, and you can see it in these scores. So, yeah, it's hard to break into these top 10s, but hopefully we'll manage to get up there with these.
Yeah, but then let's
rounds
go our champion competition, 3,275 points, which is the most points I've seen in a while. It feels like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a fact check situation or not, but that feels quite large for the shows that we've been doing. And Splash Brothers, just quietly, 2 weeks in a row, he's gone bang, bang, first place.
He's having
someone stop this man?
year. He is having an incredible year, Splash Brothers, and I know he played in the back end of last year as well. So it's good to see one of the OGs up the top of the leaderboard still absolutely killing it. But no, these are insane numbers. For round 20 in the back end of the year, it's just, insane numbers.
Splash Brothers are getting hot at the right time. September 40's coming. He knows what's coming up. He's like, it's time for me to dominate. So well done to everyone that made the leaderboard this week. And of course, for the top 20 who will be receiving prizes and all of those messages and good stuff will be coming out to you all soon. So sit back for that and good luck for the rest of the season as well. But we'll move it on, Kerm. I've got something a little spicy for you. I didn't quite add this into the notes, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm loving these buy or sell holds we've been doing recently, but I've switched up the theme big time here. You know, we're a dynasty platform. We like to talk about our young fellas, the young studs who are going to come up and be great fantasy players. But I thought of more of a win now strategy. I've gone the old fellas, people who are still going to contribute and help you win some weekly matchups. So I'm going to list off the 3 names. You give me a buy, sell, hold for them, and we can break it down as we go. Firstly, we're going to start off with Brad Crouch, who quietly is having a ripper year.
Yes.
Ripping season. Secondly, I'm going to go with the Swanee, Luke Parker. Old fella, but still the young bull he is. He's a gun. And thirdly, someone a bit left field. Let's go Mitch Duncan from the Geelong Cats. So we've got 3 players there. Let's break it down, Kerm. Give you a second to think about it as well. But buy, sell, hold for those 3 players.
Well, we got 2 midfielders and a defender. I know Mitch Duncan, he's listed as a defender, but he plays almost like a winger, high off half-back player for Geelong. So we've pretty much got 3 midfielders on the benchmark here.
Yeah.
I think Duncan is, I could be wrong, I think Duncan's the oldest of the 3. And for that
32.
reason, for that reason solely, I think he's going to be my sell. And I think of the 3 as well, he is the most likely to get injured. He's been injury prone, unfortunately, for Mitchy Duncan. No matter how good he's been for fantasy over the years, he's been incredible. He has been prone to the injuries. So I think as he gets older and his history with those injuries, he will be my sell. Between Luke Parker's been incredible as well. I'm going to buy Crouch. I'm going to buy Brad Crouch, and I'm going to hold Luke Parker. And there's not a lot between it, and I feel bad because you're a Swannies fan, and Luke Parker's been so good for you guys for so long. But Crouch is averaging like 119 GDS fantasy points, I think, off the top of my head. And I'm looking at Parker now, 107 GDS fantasy points. So there's a pretty big discrepancy between the two this year. And I know that could change, but with the Swannies having the likes of Chad Warner, James Rowbottom, Errol Gould, and the list goes on for potential midfielders. They have Callum Mills. I think he's the more likely to get pushed out of the midfield before Brad Crouch does. And Brad Crouch is just playing at an incredible level at the moment. So Brad Crouch will be my buy. And my hold will be Luke Parker, which means my sell is, unfortunately, Mitchy Duncan.
Yeah, okay. I'll quickly give you mine. I'm going to buy Luke Parker only because the past couple rounds, like 60, 148, 99, 94, 124. So not in as good form as Brad Crouch. And I feel like Brad Crouch has officially earned the respect of a lot of fantasy coaches out there this year.
Yeah.
Because if you just go through his game log, you'll know what I mean. It's just triple digits everywhere. The guy's floor this year is so high for... And who would have thought? Like, we would have thought maybe that was going to be Jack Steele this year. But no, it's Brad
Yeah.
Crouch. He's the man of the moment. So buying Parker for that, holding Brad Crouch then for those other reasons because he has been so consistent. So I'm just going to hang on to him, play him where I need him, and sell Mitchy Duncan as well. Nothing against you, big Mitch, but as you touched on before, he couldn't even start the season off because of injury concerns. And his year this year has been riddled with niggles and bumps. So it's just he's getting to that age, unfortunately. Footy is a very, very hard game to play, but he's been doing it so great for so long. So it was only a matter of time.
And even if you asked me this question last year, Mitch Duncan probably would be the buy because he has been that good for fantasy for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's father time starting to catch up to old Mitchy Duncan, unfortunately, and he falls down into that sell category.
To our last part of the show, Kerm, I might use you as a super sub going back to back. It's Cow's normally lock of the round. I'm a bit sad this week, so I need you to sub in. Just take it away, bro.
Lock of the round after round 20. Now, it's been a little bit up and down from all of us in recent weeks. The community hasn't had a win in about... it's been a while, so we're going to have to look for the live show this weekend for the community to get up for the boys. Cal has stormed away to take the podium so far in round 20. He has taken over yourself, Tom. I know that hurts to hear, but he is sitting on a flush 1,200 points, 10 from 20 so far this season. But you're only 50 points behind. You're still in second. You're still within touching distance, 1,149 points. You didn't get the green tick this week, but you're not out of the race yet. And I am creeping up, 1,098 points, 8 from 20. Trying to get back in. I'm going to need some big scores to win the season, but I'm within touching distance. It's starting to get really hot at the top of the table, and hopefully we can have a good finish together as a collective. But we'll go into it. Cal's lock of the round last week, Jack Sinclair absolutely killed it. 125 GDS fantasy points. I'm pretty sure he got that halfway through the fourth quarter. Yeah. Really good picking from Cal. 125, that's a high score for him as well. He actually dipped his toes in. Proud of him for that. We will get his lock of the round for round 21 on the live show this Thursday, so hopefully you're there to tune in. But Tom, talk me about your lock of the round.
Yeah, last week when James Sicily talked about that Saints matchup with you live stream, thought it was going to be great. And what I didn't realise is last time Sicily played the Saints, he had that ballistic 13 intercept marks game. I don't know if you remember. It was a bit earlier this year, but he went crazy. I think it was is this the round? Anyway, so he went crazy. I looked at the matchup, thought it was going to be a good one, but Sicily got the hard tag early on the weekend. So they must have identified that last time Sicily dominated through his intercept marking and that they weren't going to allow him to sit back and pick it off again. So gave him a tag from the start. He still had a good game, all things considered. Nearly got to triple digits, but not good enough to get my 125 that I asked for him. So, yeah, a bit disappointed. That's 3 L's on the trot for me. So I used the likes of Liam Duggan, Caleb Sarong, and Sicily, who all burned me.
That's tough going. Those are 3 players you'd think are pretty safe options, but that is tough.
Yeah, so where do I go from here? I'm looking at that group of players. I'm thinking they're all fantastic players. So I've gone to the top of the league here, or at least one of the best players in my opinion. So I need to get my top spot back, and there's no one this season that I would trust more to do that than pick the big bad Bont. Marcus Bontempelli against the Richmond Tigers this week. Tigers are looking for a top 8 spot. You know, the Doggies are hunting as well to secure their September footy dream. So I'm on him for 132 points. 132 big ones. Big bad Bontempelli's going to pop off. He had a bit of an off week this week by his standards. Let's just do that in quotations. Had 105. So I'm looking for him to bounce back for a biggie against the Tigers. And now I'm going to take that top spot back, mate. I'm upset. I wanted to clean sweep Cow this year. in the seasonal competition and this, so I need to get that back, mate, so I can tell him to get the brooms out and he can sweep off all the mess that we've made.
Well, as you alluded to, there's no better man to do that than Marcus Bontempelli himself. He is having himself an insane year. But I'll head on to mine, and I actually got myself a green tick this week. Christian Petracca went for 125, and he cleaned it up. I think he finished on 133 by the end of the game. So Christian Petracca in massive dead even for that one. But going on to round 21, and I'm going with a Bulldog as well, but I'm going Tom Liberatore for 122 DDS fantasy points. I've really enjoyed starting Tom Liberatore in recent weeks. He's about as consistent as they come. And in terms of CBAs for the Western Bulldogs, he's just about the safest option, aside from Bontempelli, obviously, who is just going ballistic in 2023. So I'm going to stick with Libba. We've both got our Friday night games. We'll get them out, get the lock of the rounds out of the way early. Hopefully it leaves some good vibes for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, as I said, tune in to the live show on Thursday night to see who Cal goes, and we'll, touch base then.
Beautiful. Well, mate, that wraps us up for another show of Game Day Squad's Aussie Rules show. This was for round 20. Thank you so much if you have made it this far in the video. First of all, you're a bloody legend. Second of all, smash the like button if you're still here. Subscribe to the channel so you're notified when new content is coming out. We have a massive announcement coming out soon on the platform. So as Kerm alluded to before, we have all of our links down below in the description. Get following all of that and you'll hear the news that I'm talking about soon. But we'll catch all your legends later. Cheers for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.